Welcome to the Healing Circle. I'm Christine, founder of Embodied Energy Wellness, a shamanic energy practitioner and soul guide. This is a space for honest conversations about healing, awakening, and the moments that shape us. We all carry a story, and this is a place where those stories can be shared, witnessed, and gently healed, together in community. This isn't about fixing yourself, it's about remembering yourself. Take a deep breath. You're very welcome here. Just a gentle note before we begin, some topics discussed in this episode may touch on trauma, loss, or sensitive life experiences. Please take care of yourself as you listen and engage in a way that feels supportive. Hello listeners, today's conversation is about healing through movement. After a head injury at work and living with concussion for 6 months, today's guest found herself unable to exercise, unable to return to normal life, and searching for something to help her reconnect with her body. And that's when she discovered Pilates. What began as part of her recovery became a complete life shift. She went on to train for a year, left her nursing career, and is now on a mission to help others heal through movement. This is a story about listening to the body, rebuilding from the inside out, and how one unexpected challenge can lead to a completely new purpose. Marcella, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
You're so good for coming on. I'm like, wow, we spoke briefly. This is a good story. Tell me, take us back to the time of the head injury. What was life like for you physically and emotionally during those, at the start? Phil, kick off.
So I've been a nurse for 22 years, and my head injury was about 2-3 years ago, but I was happy. I was flying around. I'm a mom of 3.
Yeah.
So I remember the day exactly. I was having a great day. I was happy. It was busy, but which I loved, but it wasn't too crazy. I wasn't stressed out. And then I always felt in myself that I always said, which is crazy, I don't want to die and just be Marcella the nurse.
Yeah.
I always felt like there was something else. I was called for something else. I felt like I was called to be a nurse. When I was growing up, I always said I wanted to be a nurse, and my parents would ask me why, and I go, I don't know. I just feel that's what was meant to be. That's what I was meant to do. So I did it for 22 years. Absolutely loved nursing. And then the head injury happened out of the blue, complete shock. Then I kind of, at the start when it happened, I went into denial, just going, it's just a head injury. I can get on with life. I can keep trying to go. And I did keep trying to go. And then I would keep fainting or I'd fall over. I was trying to go to the gym because I was off work, and I was like, I need movement. I can't just sit at home.
Yeah.
And I was falling over. It wasn't, and the gym was like, you can't come. You need to slow down. And I was like, to me, because I was an A&E nurse, then cardiothoracics, and then the cath lab. So I'm busy all the time. I was like, what? I need to sit down. I need to take time for myself. I was like, oh, I don't normally do this. So I found it very hard to actually just sit with myself. And then I was like, I need some movement for my body. So then that's when I came across Pilates online. And I swear a big load came off my weight, like a weight came off my shoulders. I was just like, I could do some of the movements. I couldn't do some of them because I was diagnosed then with concussion. So I was seeing Neurology, and they were saying it's a slow recovery. So they were saying for a week for some other body part to heal is a day for the brain to heal. So the brain takes a lot longer to heal. And it was, I got a hit in the back of the head. So they said it didn't matter the force, it was the position of where it hit my head.
How did you get the head injury, if you don't mind me asking?
So, yeah. So I was in the cath lab. So where you do stents for the heart. And I was putting something in the bin. And you just put your foot on the bin, it opens up, and we have machineries on the ceiling. And when I looked in the bin and I came back up, I hit the back of my head off the machine.
So easy.
I had worked in this place for 5 years and nobody's ever hit their head off this machine. And I was just like, oh, when you just get that throbbing pain. And I was like, oh, it'll pass. I went in, I scrubbed, we were bringing the patient in, and my manager just said to me, "You look very pale. Are you okay?" And I said, "Oh, I just hit my head. I'll be fine." And then next thing I was like, "No, I'm going to faint." So I was scrubbed, so I had to unscrub, and they brought me, lay me down on a trolley,
Yeah.
and I just completely just passed out. And then when I came around, they were asking me questions, and I was answering complete wrong questions. I wasn't making sense, and I was laughing, and they were like, "Oh, this is a bit unusual." So they brought me down to A&E. They scanned me. Nothing shows up on the scans. So it's all fine, sent me home to rest. And I said, "I'll take 2 days off. I'll be back at work. No
Yeah.
problem." Kept trying going back to work. I was just getting dizzy. It was like as if you're on a boat and you just feel that sickness. I couldn't move my head left or right, which is a big fear then.
Mm.
Like I'd no energy. I was just sleeping all the time. And, I was like, this happened just before Christmas. And I was just like, I've got young kids. How am I going to like look after my kids? And it's Christmas time. It's a busy time. And so it took a lot to slow down, listen to my body, take the rest. And when I saw neurology, they were the ones that kind of put me to rest to say, this is normal. Because I started to think, is this in my head?
Yeah.
Am I just,
Yeah.
because everybody's like,
Mm.
but you barely hit your head. Like it shouldn't do that. And I'm like, I know, but I can't stop these symptoms. And I'm not making them up. Because all the scans were all clear. So then when I saw neurology was like, no, no, you've got concussion, that they're all the normal symptoms, they're all fine. And they said, now you could end up living with this. So they said it's like being on a roller coaster, and when you come off, you feel dizzy. That's what I
Mm.
was having all the time. And they said that's just your enzymes. They fire off when you come off the roller coaster and then they settle down. But yours haven't settled down. So they still think you're on that roller coaster and they won't stop firing off for, they said it could be like a light switch. In 6 months' time, it'll just change and you'll be back to normal. Or if you're not, then it's going to be a long term and you'll have to go on medication for, it's like epilepsy or depression medications. And you might have to get Botox on the back of your head. So I was taking all this information in, really scared. But took every day as it came. And I was like, all I can do for myself is rest and movement.
Yeah.
So that's when Pilates came in. I was just doing 20 minutes Pilates every morning, just going, I need my body, the rest of my body to feel good. I can protect my brain because I wouldn't do any movements that I had to put my head back. So I would just do the video, but just not do the head part. And then I'd go and have a rest. So I felt, well, at least my body's getting some movement in and I'm resting my mind. So the 6 months came and it was like a light switch, just came back.
Oh,
I woke up
perfect.
and I was like, I'm not dizzy. Oh my God. And I was
Really?
nearly
Just like that,
afraid,
like overnight.
just like that overnight. And I felt like I was afraid to say it out loud. I
Yeah.
was afraid because I was like, oh my God, like I can move my head. Like this is crazy. Um, but then, the next day I didn't feel anything and I was like, oh my God. And I'd say to my husband then, I think it's gone back to normal. I think they've settled and
Yeah.
he's like, oh my God. And it was absolutely amazing. So I did go back to nursing. So I went back, but I had to go back slowly. So I had to go back half time and we slowly went back to long days. But then what I was discovering was that I was looking at everybody's bodies and I was looking at people getting younger and younger, not being able to move off the trolley onto our table. And I was like, this is crazy. Like, I feel a lot better from those 6 months of doing 20 minutes a day of movement. I felt my posture was better. I was holding myself up better. I was like, I feel more taller, confident. I wasn't doing it for core work. I wasn't doing it. I was just for movement for my
Mm.
body to make it feel better, not so stiff and rigid. And so when I went back to work, I was like, I don't understand why everybody's not doing this. This should be our everyday lifestyle. We should be getting up in the morning and we should be stretching, moving, any light movement. You can do it on a chair. You can do it in the bed. So you can do it anywhere. No age limit. Everybody can do it. So then I was like, I'm going to do a course. And my husband was like, "Oh, here we go. Yeah, yeah.
They always do
Another,
that, don't they, those
yeah,
husbands?
another course.
They always
Yeah,
roll
yeah,
their eyes.
yeah." So I was like, "No, no, I am. I'm going to try and do this and see where it leads me." So I did the year course, took my time, was nursing part time, and I was doing the course part time, and absolutely loved it. And then, um, I gave up nursing then full time, and I went into teaching Pilates, and I teach all forms. So I do the reformer. I do mat online and in community centres, and I do the chair Pilates. So
Wow.
the chair Pilates has really taken off, which I'm so proud of because I've got older generation
Yeah, that's what I'm
working
thinking.
out there, sitting on a chair. They're finding big difference. Like people are coming back to me going, I've had hip pain for years and now it just goes after doing the class. It's gone, for that few hours. And I'm
And
like,
is that online, the cherry?
no, so I
Pilates?
do. So it's both. So I'm
Yeah,
I'm doing it online and I'm doing it because what I was finding is I would go to the community centres or the libraries and I would do one a week.
yeah,
And then I felt they just weren't getting enough, or they would come to the class and then a whole hour is a lot of exercise to do if you haven't done anything. So I was sending them 20 minutes of a class. I would do it at home, video it, and send it onto a WhatsApp group. And they would just do 20 minutes every other day, just so they would feel a lot better when they came to my class, that they could do more and they wouldn't feel sore after my 1 hour class.
yeah.
So this
I'm
is
just
less,
asking because my mom, like, her whole body's like, she's so tight, like, she's never
yeah,
really moved, right? And I'm always like, Mom, we go for a walk, come on, get you
yeah,
moving. And she's just sieging up, like, just literally
yeah,
getting tighter and tighter. Now, she is 80, right? But I'm talking
yeah,
like this has been the last
doesn't,
20 years. I don't
yeah,
know. And I'm like, Mom, we're just gonna like, and she did yoga when she was younger. And I
yeah,
knew she felt the benefit of it. But of
yeah,
course, like that, I think that age, that generation just stepped away from it. Where our
absolutely.
generation is like, we have to do something to our bodies because we're seeing the older
Yeah,
generation and what ailments they have and what they're going through, and it's like,
yeah,
I need to fix this.
yeah.
Um,
Well,
and
that's what I just think like they've done so much for us. And like all my parents' friends and stuff, like, growing up, they did all the wallpapering, they did
yeah,
all the
they did
painting,
actually.
the heavy lifting. So now they're all over with their hunchbacks and their arthritis. And, I just feel I need to give back to them what they gave us growing up. So
Mm,
that's why I just feel bit of movement. Like you can stop at any time, see how you feel every day, and just see if you can bring a little bit of movement into your life. I just think if you don't use it, you lose it.
yeah, oh,
So
absolutely.
I'm just like, just a little bit of motion is absolutely brilliant. And, the next day you could feel better and do a little bit more, or you mightn't feel as good today. So you don't need to do it today.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be a set
Sad
time,
thing.
a
Yeah,
set thing to do.
I find now a lot of people will come on the beach with me to do my beach yoga, and it's a mix of yin and a tandem yoga, and like it's pure movements. But when we do it outdoors, I feel it's extra special, and that's probably why I just only teach outdoors.
Yeah.
Um, and that's everyone's like, when the winter comes, they're like, please, where are you? I'm going, you're on your own now. You know what I mean? I can't
Yeah.
hold you all the time. And it's
Yeah.
like, I'll see you next spring on the beach. And they're running onto the beach in the spring going, I want movements. I'm going, you had access to doing it all year round anyway. You just
Yeah.
literally get up in the morning and move that body. And like, I feel in the morning now, I go to the gym at 6 in the morning, or I'll go for a walk or a run. Um, I need that movement. And I'm 40, what am I, 46 this year? And like, I'm telling you, I'm still 21. In my mind, I'm still 21. And I think I will be until I'm 90. Like, I
Yeah.
have that
Absolutely.
child like mentality. And I hope that body at 90 years of age. Um, but like, even I feel when you first get out of bed, you're like, you're creaking, you're
Yeah.
tight,
Mm.
and it's like, oh my God, what is going on here? But
I
having a
think once you hit
conscious effort.
40,
Oh yeah, like, come on.
so you wake up one day and you've got something wrong with you. You'll
Sure,
find
like
a
you're meeting your
difference.
friends going, and I've this wrong with me, and I've that
Yeah.
wrong with me, and I'm like,
Exactly.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know what?
So
That's your body has been holding so much.
And I'm not talking about physical as well. I'm talking about emotionally. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And you see, I'm coming from the spiritual and emotional side. You're coming from
Mhm.
the physical side. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And what I always say to my clients is like, where's the energy? Where are you feeling that heavy energy in your body? You know,
Yeah.
and that is an energetically, there's emotion being held there. And different parts of our bodies, when they tell me where it is, I know exactly what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
Where it's interesting that you said when you went back to nursing, you could see people getting struggling, young people struggling to
Mhm.
get off
Yeah.
trolleys. It's not that you have to have a physical ailment, it's what you're carrying emotionally.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, 100%. And like, when I actually gave up nursing, I just thought, I'm giving up nursing, I'm doing Pilates, happy days, move on. It was such a shock to
Uh,
me because it was my identity. And I was, to me, even I was Marcella, the nurse.
yeah,
That's all I knew. I was an expert. I could go in with my eyes closed and do what I wanted when there was a team of us. Where now I was in Pilates learning all this. I'm 42, learning a new skill on my own. So it was very lonely. And I had got to go to meditation and I had got to release letting go of Marcella the nurse. And it was hard.
oh
I
yeah.
was shocked at how hard it actually was. And I was crying and everything. And
Mm.
I had to let her go, basically.
I can
And it was
totally
huge.
relate to that 100%. Like, because I had work in a university, I had all these friends. My life was I go out drinking every weekend, I work 9 to 5. This is my life. But there's this inner like a force within you that you can't even say no to. It's just
Mhm.
constantly pulling you along. I feel like you're just being pulled and it's pulling you by the heart,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, I have to strip away that identity to actually blossom into who I'm supposed to be. And you know, for my own personal experience, it was moving from that idea of what I thought I was and what everyone else thought of me.
Yes.
There's your box. You
Yes.
are Christine that works and drinks all weekend and is
Hmm.
there and is also a people pleaser and a doormat, etc., etc., etc.
Yeah.
To then suddenly flipping the whole thing and saying, no, actually, I don't really want to be in the pubs anymore. I
Yeah.
don't want to be around people that I know are standing all over me. And
Hmm.
there's a spiritual healer inside of me.
Yeah.
And it is that layer by layer, you have to release each shred of
Mm.
your old self
Yeah.
to blossom into the new you, isn't it?
Yeah, and actually, when I went to the meditation and it was like one to one, we were going through. Um, it turned out as well. So my dad was like, he would have been the one to help me do my nursing, push me along, encourage me and everything. So I had him throughout my whole journey, and then he got dementia,
Mm.
and we were going through that the same time that I was leaving nursing. So I was going, oh my God, the timing of this is crazy that I'm letting go nursing and I'm letting go my dad.
Yeah,
And I found that really tough. And I didn't know that at the time until it all came out. And it was so tough and so hard. And I was so happy that I did do it because I didn't want to hold on to any of that emotion and and I wanted to release it and let it go. And I do feel the universe intervened by giving me my head injury to make me slow down. I would never have
yeah,
changed, never. Like I loved nursing, I loved running around, being busy and everything. But oh my God, my life has changed so much since my career changed. And I would, if I had to go back and do it all again, I would. I
yeah,
absolutely love changing and learning new and helping so many people. And I'm trying to keep them now out of the hospital. So
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
want them to end up there. So I'm trying to get them to just move from, a young age all the way up to try and go, you want longevity. You want to stay out of hospitals. You don't want to wait till you get injured, to then do something about it. We need to get there first and prevent it. And then as I'm getting old, like people are getting older, I'm trying to help them because they do have their injuries. And I'm saying you don't have to live this way all the time. You don't have to be stiff, all the time. Let's try and loosen it up and let's see where you're at and let's see if we can improve it. And what I get back is just absolutely amazing. Like
It's the purpose, isn't it?
Yeah,
And this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And you can't even put into words how that feels, when you finally step into that and you get that feedback of how
yeah.
you've helped someone. And, ultimately we come down here to help others, and
Mhm.
but I can totally relate to you, like, before the universe completely has to step in because we are so caught up in the chaos and we're thinking this is my identity, this is how I'm supposed to live. We lose ourselves in the process. And
Mhm.
it does take the universe or our guides to come in and go, hold on, no, I'm going to upend you
Yeah,
now and I'm going to project you onto your soul path and you'll
yeah,
have no way of backing out of it. You'll try, but we'll keep
yeah,
kicking you back onto that path. And when I had my near-death experience from after the birth of my child, in 2015, the stress I was under before leading up to that point was like, if you would have saw me and the old unhealed version of me walking down the street, you would not recognize
yeah.
me at all.
Mhm.
And it does take that. And sometimes I think a lot of people, it depends how you view it. If like something traumatic, we have to work through every single emotion around that to dig deep into the shadow to see the light that's in that shadow of what you can create. Because you are the co-creator of your own reality.
Yeah,
And I really think you need that breakdown before you have that breakthrough.
absolutely.
I,
100%. Yeah,
I feel even though it's both the stripping away of the old identity of Marcella, but also the stripping away of the identity of your father as well, you
yeah.
wouldn't have been able to give that space if you were still nursing.
No, no, I definitely wouldn't. And I didn't even know it at the time that my dad was affecting me. And I wouldn't have done meditation or any of that. If I was still a nurse, I would have just kept going, going, going and not stopping. So I definitely I'm glad my head injury happens, which is a weird thing.
Yeah, I'm saying, I'm like, oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
All the big lessons, I'm like, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely, and I've got a great relationship with my dad and come to terms with him. And my kids now see what a lifestyle we have, as in, I go out every morning and I ground,
Yeah.
I come in, I do meditation. I do movement then. So they then will get a mat out beside me and they will do Pilates with me. And it's just like that movement, small movements. And they just see, I'm investing in things like my health. So I'm like out and get fresh air, get into nature, eating well. We're eating a lot better now this time,
Because you
where it
have
would have been,
time.
yeah, exactly.
You're not
It
running
would have
around
been
going,
just
right,
go,
quick
go, go,
fix.
go. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Rushing around everywhere. So it's changed their lives. It's changed my husband's life. He's also the same. I'm always doing he does my movements and I'm like, just do meditation. Just sit with yourself. Even if you
Yeah.
don't like it, like just sit with yourself. See what's going on in your head. Um,
But you see,
so
a lot of people are afraid
yeah, yeah,
because the truth lies within.
yeah,
And when we're so concerned with what's happening outside of us, we're running away from the truth of the feelings that are bubbling up to the surface. It's like, those little thoughts or those feelings go, I don't even like this person.
yeah.
I don't want to hang around with this fruit because I don't feel good.
Hmm.
But we're so caught up in the people pleasing our own wounds and ourselves that we're like, no, this is what we're supposed to be. This is who we're supposed to be with. And I'll just distract myself from those niggling feelings and
Yeah.
the energies
Hmm.
by running away in the chaos.
Yeah, yeah. And we've given up alcohol now 2 years, and we have lost friends
Oh, 100%,
like that, and you're
you're
like,
not cool enough
they weren't
to hang
friends in
around
the
with
first
anymore.
place.
That's how, like, like nobody really asks me out that much anymore. And I'm like, sometimes it gets me though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm sitting there and I feel lonely on a Friday night, and I'm like, I do feel lonely. Don't get me wrong, I do drink occasionally, but not as much as I used to.
Yeah. I'll ring
Like
you
it
every
wouldn't be.
Friday.
Yeah, ring me every Friday. Be like, oh, what are you doing? Let's
Yeah.
go for a hike. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I purposely plan things, events that I'm working at, or even just
Yeah.
things to do with other people that are
Yeah.
interested in them things the next day. So I
Yeah.
know, like, if I get up out of loneliness, I get up 6 in the morning, going for a swim with all the girls.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, why would I feel lonely,
So
or
that's
why
what,
would I
yeah,
need to
I've done
get the
sea
drink?
swims. Yeah.
These swims really do. They do help you, don't they?
Well, you see, I think it's amazing. So, like the research and all that, that doesn't bother me. Like, I don't get, is it good? Is it not good? What gets to me is when I was in A&E, I would see elderly people coming in for minor injuries, garden injuries. So they've cut their hand, or, a branch has cut their face. And I'd go, you're not on many medications. How is that?
Mm-hmm.
And they always said to me, because I see swim.
Yeah.
And and that's like, 15 years ago. And I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh my God, because they would live near the sea, the hospital was near the sea. And I was like, I've always said it to my husband. So I've said, I don't get into research and, whether it's
No.
good, whether it's not. I'm like, I've seen it. I've seen people and their health, and it's all the same. It's always, oh, we just do sea swims. And I'm like, so that's why I was like, we're getting into sea swims. Um,
100%. My
and it is
dad inspired
amazing.
me. My dad's side of the family were all sea swimmers, and they'd get in all year round. And most of my memories is me and my dad in the sea before he got sick with his own mental health problems. And I remember, like, if you it cut something, you broke anything. It was like,
Yeah.
get into sea now, that'll heal you. Like, that was in my brain when I was like 2 years of age.
Yeah.
And one of my uncles, God rest him now, he lived to 92 or 93, don't quote me now, because all my cousins will be jumping on the bandwagon now. He cycled from Rathfarnham every day and got a swim in the 40 foot and cycled home to
Brilliant.
well into his late 80s.
Yeah.
Every day I'd meet him down the 40 foot, and I was like, oh my God, like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And he was never sick.
Mhm.
Like, he was the healthiest man you'd ever meet. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's who I'm going to be.
Yeah. And you always get out to sea so happy. So your emotions are so high. And, even if it did that for you, like,
Yeah.
it's a great feeling just to be happy. You just lose everything. Like you forget everything.
But
It's
I look
just,
at it in an energetic kind of way where, in our emotional body and our energy bodies, because we've got 7 layers of energetic bodies around our physical body, and they each carry things, and they're related to our chakras. So say the sacral chakra is all about emotions, and we have unprocessed emotions in our auric fields most of the time, all the time. We have our wounds, and they're in our auric fields. That's why some people can see people's auras. They could see the different colors and tell them, where they're holding on to emotions. But when we step into the sea, or what I say to my clients is either the sea or an Epsom salt bath, if there's ions in the seawater which generate from salt, which cleanse our energetic body.
mm,
So it's not, yeah, we're seeing it on the physical, but on the energetic, the spiritual side, we need that sea to free and release the heaviness, that the wounds, the trauma from our
wow.
auric fields. Yeah, it's amazing when you see it from that point of view. And that's why every time someone comes to me for one-to-one healing, I always say within the next 24 hours, either jump into the sea or have an Epsom salt bath.
Yeah.
Because you're shifting the energy from your auric fields. And that's why it's so powerful. And, when during lockdown, everyone panicked, let's say, in the first couple of months, because nobody knew what was going on. What did we do? Intuitively went straight to the sea, didn't we?
Yeah.
Sea swimming just
Oh, it
exploded,
went up. Yeah.
But isn't it great how we were all intuitively going to what we needed, nature and the sea during
Yeah.
lockdown, you
Mhm.
know? But yeah, just before we finish up, I just think your story is amazing. I think you're amazing, Marcella. I think, to go through such a scary thing as a head injury, there's no medicine with a head injury.
No,
And
it is quite scary because you're going, I can't fix this. Like it's not a broken bone. I can't
yeah,
just get a, cast on it and let it heal. I don't know what's happening in my brain. Like, and it was really, really scary. And all I could do was rest, try and listen to my body, and then do movements. And
yeah.
I was like, this is all I can do. But I did feel kind of helpless in a way. And then it worked out, I did.
Because you went into surrender
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
trusted.
yeah.
And what I always feel for my clients when their guys come in is that they always say, just tell them to trust and tell them to surrender. Whatever really hard situation they're going through or challenge, don't go against it. Sit and face it and say, right, I'm going to surrender and trust in this to see what happens, how I get to the other side.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, Marcella, hats off to you. Like, wow, I think you're just amazing. I really do. I'm very brave and just I'm getting this energy. At the back of my head is like going, tell her, fucking high five. Sorry, can I curse on my own podcast? I'm just getting this huge energy in the back of my head, and it's like they're saying, keep doing what you're doing because you're doing amazing. It's exactly what you're here to do.
Oh, that's great to hear. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, I'm getting all my heart's going. Come here. Do you want to do one last little words of advice for our listeners today before we finish up?
Yeah, I would just say, yeah, trust the process. Take your time. Don't give yourself a hard time. Just sit with yourself and it will come, it will flow. Whatever's supposed to come up, let it come up. You can write it down if you need to write it down. But just, yeah, listen to your internal body and then just try and move. Movement is so underrated. And I don't mean a big gym, a big workout, you know. Um,
Somersaults.
yeah, just,
Splits.
yeah. So just any movements, any little bit that will help. And on my Instagram, I'm not great on Instagram now, I have to say, because I just want to teach Pilates and not do the whole, but I do try and put up tips and just things there just to help
What's your
people.
page?
M3 Pilates.
M3 Pilates. I will
So
make sure it's included in the show notes.
the name actually came from because I have 3 daughters and their names all begin with M.
Oh,
So, and my mom is Marcella, I'm Marcella, and my eldest daughter is Marcella. So it's M3 Pilates.
oh,
So
that's beautiful. Oh, I love it, Marcella. Thank you so much. Oh, just,
no
yeah,
problem.
thank you. That's beautiful that you have your feminine energy, your women flowing through your business as well. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me today. And to my listeners, if you want to be a guest on our podcast, remember your voice may be the medicine for a listener out there. And no story is too big or too small. Get in touch, fill out the application form. The link is in my bio on my Instagram, or you can go to my website. Marcella, thank you so much. And I will hopefully see you soon at one of your classes.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thank you for being part of the Healing Circle today. If something in this conversation touched you, let it land gently. You don't need to rush to understand it. Your body already knows. Remember, your story matters, and when it's shared in the right space, it has the power to heal, not just you, but others too. If you feel called to explore this work more deeply, you'll find links to my sessions, retreats, and offerings through Embodied Energy Wellness in the show notes. Until we meet again, go gently, stay connected, and trust the wisdom within you. Thank you for being here.